Welcome back to Seen and Solved. I'm your host, Tim Pennington. Today, we'll close out season 3 with a special episode. We're pulling back the curtain on what it takes to market a 175-year-old company in the digital age. Our crew was on site at Hubbard-Hall in Waterbury, Connecticut, to hear from Shelley Lusas, the marketing director of Hubbard-Hall. From creative campaigns to cutting-edge AI tools, you're about to hear how this team blends tradition with innovation. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Seen and Solved podcast, brought to you by Hubbard-Hall. Better results, less chemistry.
So, Shelley, when you think of marketing a chemical company, you really don't expect cutting-edge strategy, automation, those type of things. But at Hubbard-Hall, it's really been a transformation that's really been remarkable. Tell us more about that.
When I started at Hubbard-Hall, it was very much a traditional marketing. The trade show is actually housed in a box out in the warehouse. And so every time that we would need to go to a trade show, I'd have to go down to the warehouse, pull one of the forklift drivers to get it out of the racks for us and do a manual inventory of what was actually in the box versus what we needed. The actual way that they did advertising was kind of a little bit here, a little bit there. So over the course of the last 8 years, I've really worked to, with my internal and external team, streamline how the department runs. And happy to say that we're really focused on our messaging and consistent on our campaigns that we have out in the marketplace, making sure that they back up what our sales team and the market is actually looking for. Everything is done automatically through an inventory system that they have. Our marketing specialists could just go online, pick what we need for a trade show, and off it goes, so we never actually see it until we arrive on the trade show floor. One of the other big things that I'm really proud of in the last 8 years is everything that we do, we back it up into 3 objectives. It either needs to be working towards brand awareness, lead generation, or competitive advantage. And so everything we do has to answer, does it hit one of these 3 buckets?
So I know marketing isn't a solo effort. I know at Hubbard-Hall, you have a really good team, and success means building a team that you can have fun with, laugh with, work with, collaborate with, and pretty much trust. So tell us about how all that works together.
At Hubbard-Hall, the marketing department is responsible for content generation, our website, social media, podcast. We're also doing all of our digital print advertising. We're doing podcasts. We do 25 episodes per season. We're moving into our 4th season right now. How we're handling all of that is internally, it's myself and Megan Lynn, who's our marketing specialist. And then externally, I have built a really strong team of experts that help us with writing, video, photography, design, and some of our brand strategy. The team that we're with now, I think, has been working together pretty closely for about the last year and a half, and I feel it's a really cohesive team. We have monthly meetings, we have fun together, we laugh together. So for me, building that external team is like building an extension of the internal team so that everybody has trust within each other, and we know that Hubbard-Hall's mission is for our customers so that they could have better results with less chemistry, and everyone is ingrained with that. And so how do we help our customers with that mission? We'll talk about different projects that we're going to be working on and how can we all collaborate together.
So, Shelley, how do you bring this deep chemical expertise and experience to your audience? I know, for one, Hubbard-Hall, you have an important element is the Seen and Solved podcast, which people are listening to right now. But tell us more about how you get that to work so well for you all.
So for us, the podcast is a way to deliver our experts to our customers, prospects, to the market. So, there's many questions that people have out there, the metal finishers, the manufacturers, whether it's around surface cleaning, metal finishing, plating, pretreatment, wastewater treatment. It's a way for our experts to get their kind of knowledge out there and become known in the industry, and for our customers, prospects, and the like to look at us as people to come to and understand how we're solving problems like they may be facing. And some of it that we are doing is that kind of live case study. These are our products, and this is what we call it, put it in the tank, just the kind of products that we don't have to think about, our hero products. I think it's a really great and creative way to easily bring to people the knowledge that they're looking for to solve their everyday problems.
So, Shelley, I know you all do a lot of great work with your booth and what you have at all the trade shows. You have a lot of speakers, very creative information there. And I know that it turns a lot of heads. And so kind of take me through your thought process on how that works so well for you, and but also, online and through social media channels as well.
So when I started here, I heard a lot of from the salespeople, when we're out in the market, it's Hubbard who. Recently, there's a lot of people that when I was at a trade show just in April, they're like, Hubbard-Hall is everywhere. And so that was one of my big things, is to create that brand awareness, to showcase our competitive advantage with our experts and make sure that we are at the places where our customers are, and to make sure that we're that recognizable name brand of, we have the products that are going to help you reduce your chemistry costs, your chemical consumption, and your complexity. For Hubbard-Hall, we focus on better results with less chemistry. And for us, that means that we are going to go in and we're going to problem solve tank side with our customers. And so we're going to make sure that our customers have less chemistry usage, less complexity, and less cost. We're working beside them tank side to ensure that all of those points are hit and that they're continually coming back to us as their trusted advisors. I don't think that is specific to Hubbard-Hall or to anyone in the chemical industry. I think it's to any marketing professional. It's competing with all of the noise, right? There's just daily noise that you hear in your business environment, your personal environment, and the world at large. You have social media that's hitting you, you have emails that are hitting you, newsletters, you have people coming in and out of your office. So it's just that, how do we stay at the top of people's minds and making sure that when we are in front of them, they're listening to what we have to say.
So I got to ask you, what do rubber ducks have to do with industrial chemistry? I really like the campaign. It's bright, it's new, it's different. Tell us what kind of results are you getting with this? It's a very clever idea. I'd like to know what kind of results you're getting.
So one way that Hubbard-Hall is actually doing that is we're pretty bold with our advertising and our campaigns that we're putting out into the industry. For this year, we have a campaign called One Choice Stands Out. It's actually a bunch of yellow ducks, and in the middle of it is one different colored duck. And the different colored duck is dependent on what we are actually marketing. So if it's something that's cleaning related, our Trilogy color for cleaning is green. If it's something related to metal finishing, it's purple. And if it's something related to wastewater treatment, it's this aqua color. Or if it's just kind of a general, it's a dark blue duck. And people are probably saying, how did the duck come about? Well, Molly and I often will have these fun, we call them brainstorming sessions. And she said, I want to be viewed as different. And so one night when my daughter was sleeping, I just started Google searching images to show differentiation. And there it was, like a bunch of yellow ducks with a purple duck in the middle. And off the cuff, I sent it to her and I said, what about this? And she was like, oh my God, I love it. Let's run with it. And so it has actually become something that we have used in our print advertising, digital advertising, trade shows, social media, email this year, and has really resonated with people. When we're out at the trade shows, people come up to us and, it stands out to them. They recognize it from the magazines. But then hidden underneath all that fun kind of imagery is the direct line of what makes us stand out against our competitors, whether it's a 98% reduction in metal removal, or we have a chemistry that reduces their process steps, or we have, for the pretreatment line, a product that does metal cleaning and iron phosphating in one. So how are we standing out against our competitors, and why are we the choice that they should choose to stand out amongst their competitors? For me, I look at it as I'm blessed to be able to do that, because in my previous roles at other companies, I was only in charge of or a part of one area of marketing. And here I get to utilize all of that and kind of take that creativity and analytical skill that I have and utilize it across all of the different ways that you can tap into marketing for your organization.
So Hubbard-Hall, your chemistry deals with wastewater, pre-treatment, everything in between. And I know you all have at least 500 or more chemistries that you've got to really market to the community in the finishing industry. But you still have to tell one clear story. How do you go about doing that?
Marketing here is probably a little bit different, whether it's a B2B or even some of our competitors, because we have so many product lines. We look at whether it's solvent cleaning, aqueous cleaning, we do plating, heat treat salts, we have pre-treatment chemistries, whether it's conversion coatings or phosphates, and then we also do wastewater treatment. So it's understanding that holistic view for the metal finisher of what goes into their line upstream and how are we keeping them compliant downstream. And so having to be able to tap into all of that and understand that from a little bit of a technical knowledge so that when I'm talking to the product line managers, I sound a little bit educated and how I'm communicating with them so that I can get that out into the market in some way that makes sense. I think at one point we said we had over 556 proprietary chemistries plus distribution chemicals. So there's a lot that's within what Hubbard-Hall does and provides to the metal finishing industry.
So when you're a lean marketing team with big goals, it seems that artificial intelligence just isn't an option. It's essential. So how does Hubbard-Hall use AI effectively to stay one step ahead of competitors?
So AI for Hubbard-Hall is actually a big push. Molly is very keen on AI and how can we as an organization utilize artificial intelligence to make ourselves more efficient so that we can be a better supplier for our customers. We actually use it as a multiplier for our department because we are such a small internal department to help us draft up content. It doesn't ever become like the content that's the end result, but it acts more of a way for us to brainstorm ideas, do some research. So if there's something that I don't know, or if there's a competitor that I want to get some more information on, it also helps us understand maybe some trends and what's going on. If I'm doing an article on the top 3 things that a plater should know, or I want to do a podcast on that, so I can start to feed whoever my subject matter expert is for the podcast, I'm going to need to know some of that knowledge. And so I'll go into chat and I'll type that in so I can be prepared for putting together podcast questions. AI for us is also how do we be placed on AI? What is our visibility in AI so that when a shop goes in and says that they're having over-etching of aluminum, or which company near me supplies the best pretreatment chemicals, or how do I get my PFAS down? How is Hubbard-Hall and our expertise ranking almost in a new way with how Google was the search engine of the past almost with SEO is really now you have to optimize all of your content for AI. And so how do we beat our competitors to making our name that household name again in AI world?
So I know a big challenge was celebrating the 175th anniversary of Hubbard-Hall, and you're doing it at the same time as you were having a brand refresh. I wouldn't advise that. But how did you all turn that into such a success? And it was really a bold leap into the future.
Our new website was going to be launched on November 25th, 2024. And so for the whole year of 2024, we were redesigning our website to make it a more user-friendly experience. So now if you're interested in metal stripping or paint stripping or metal removal, anything that you want specifically, you can go and you can actually just search up all of our white papers and case studies and videos and be very specific to what the end user wanted to see. So we were gearing up in marketing for the launch of our website, which in and of itself is a big thing, and you have a whole communications plan around it and how you're going to get it out to the market and have adoption with internally people using it. So we were about 72 hours away from the launch of the website, and Molly said to me, hey, that internal logo that we've been using to celebrate our 175th anniversary, let's make that our external logo and let's have it go live the day of the website. And so I took a deep breath and I said, you got it. And then I sweated for a second, but you don't sweat, you always glisten. And I said, we're going to do this. And we did. And in 72 hours, we turned around the corporate logo and came up with a communications plan. And why did we go with that logo? So it's the periodic element for Hubbard-Hall, right? The capital H, small h. And so it kind of pays homage to us as a chemical company. The year 1849 is embedded in that periodic table element for how long we've been in business. So again, honoring our legacy. And then the red and blue was just kind of keeping true to our old logo. We tightened up the colors a little bit to make them a little bit more modern. It's a great logo, and it shows that we're an ever-evolving company, but we have that stability and longevity, and that's something that we're gonna go into the future with, and I'm really excited about it. And when I see it out in the market, I'm really proud that we did it, and it's out there, and it was a last-minute decision, but one I think is a really good one.
Well, thank you, Shelley. That wraps up our conversation with the marketing force behind Hubbard-Hall. From bold branding to smarter systems, it's clear they're not just evolving, they're setting the standard for industrial marketing. To learn more about their podcast, visit hubbardhall.com, and thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening to Seen and Solved by Hubbard-Hall. For more episodes, visit hubbardhall.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe, rate and review, and join us on social media. Produced by Awcast.